It's good that the first slide that was shown by Mr. Gill was on palm oil. I've been in the industry for the past 35 years. It is very important to the nation, where it brings about 80 billion ringgit Malaysia in terms of revenue. Okay, now we are faced with a very urgent issue on labour shortage, and one way is actually to mechanization. And I like the idea that it shouldn't be mechanized 100%. Okay. My question to Mr. Jill is that the stigma that is faced by the industry is when you go into mechanization or using robots, they are always saying that it is expensive. Okay. So my question is that have you actually been approached or approaching any companies related to the palm oil industry to discuss wherever possible where are the areas that need to be mechanized or robotized, especially at the upstream level. And just now when you did mention that your robots may be as cheap as 50K to as high as 10 million. And mind you, most of the plantation companies in Malaysia are very good in that sense. The moment you mention million ringgit, they will stand away. But if it's free or being given by the government, they will be very interested. I think this is where probably MTDC could chip in terms of my question. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I will first answer the end, which is about cost of development and free. There is never such a thing as free in a business strategy. And to say continuous improvement and progress has to be budgeted and fully part of the corporate strategy. So every company has to invest between 5 and 15% in R&D in order to survive in a globalized world. That's the first one. So if the companies are not ready to fork out this money on an annual basis to look into how to go further, it's never going to work as such. Now, in terms of have I faced the same type of company? Obviously, no. In Europe, we don't have any oil palm, and we have not ventured into Africa on that topic. But like I was showing, is the harvesting of other fruits. Every agricultural harvest has its own particularities. But I believe there is a solution when you approach it on a pragmatic way to try to go step by step. Like we say, we don't look at the ideal universal robot who is going to do everything from A to Z, including the selection of the mature crops. But try to find something in between and improve it step by step to make it more mechanical, more robotized. And as new technology comes in, you will plug this new technology on the way as well. So I'm more believing in progress than in revolution. It's going to be one of the interesting debates we have. Is that the important is to get the ball rolling, and I think that new technology comes through the fact that we are seeking for productivity, basically. Does that answer your question?
Maybe I can just add a little bit to that. I think first of all, regarding free, nobody values when you give things free. And this is the problem. I just want to share, when talking to Gilles earlier this morning, that in France, for instance, when you do the R&D project, you say that 50% is coming from the government or taxpayer, and the other 50% is from B2B. Our experience in Germany for R&D projects, the 1/3 is coming from the government, and that's in the form of grant. And then 1/3 is coming from B2B, and 1/3 is a company that is developing it itself. So nothing is free, then they value it, but after that, there will be commercialization program coming out, and the B2B presence will be important for commercialization. That's good.
My name is Samad. I don't represent anybody, even though I sit on board of a few companies, but I'm here entirely on my own as a retiree. You can see that from my grey beard, I'm quite old. Now, I find this area very interesting, like Mr. Liu Xue said. Actually, my main intention is to know what is Industry 4.0, and thank you for the explanation. I have a few questions. First, I think one of the speakers alluded to the report of the World Economic Forum. In the past, the World Economic Forum, until about 3 or 4 years ago, classified the world economy, countries of world economies, into 3 categories. Countries which are factor-driven, which relies on basic commodity for their foreign exchange. Countries which are efficiency-driven, that relies on productivity and cheap labor, like China was now, and of course, finally, the one in the 3rd category, which are countries which are innovation-driven. I remember Malaysia being placed between efficiency-driven and innovation-driven. In other words, we are moving towards an innovation-driven economy. In other words, we need to be more creative and more productive. We have to earn more because we want to get paid more, and that should be commensurate with productivity. And not only that, because we can no longer compete on cost of labor, we have to be innovative. I think that is the crux of the Industry 4.0. Everybody moving towards producing more with less.
Dr. Samad, can you address the question to one of the speakers?
I don't know really, because this is a general topic. I think every one of you should be able to contribute to this my question or the problem that I'm putting forward, especially in the context of Malaysia today. We can no longer, because we talked over coffee this morning, that we feel that the present generation are overpaid for what they do. And that's quite dangerous. And that's quite dangerous because that means our currency will go down in value eventually. So we have to be able to produce more and be more innovative, more creative. And that is also, the analysis given by the World Economic Forum. I think that should be addressed by the younger generation today. I passed that stage already.
Can one of the speakers give some comments to Dr. Samad?
Okay, I'll try my best. Okay, to address the concern just now, you mentioned that to compete in a globalized society, we need to produce more with less, and we need to be innovative. Now, these are 2 components that we actually look at when we want to transform an organization to become I4.0. We understand that to be 4.0 companies or organizations, you have to have some basic foundations. And among these foundations that we think which is important, one, lean manufacturing. So by adopting lean manufacturing, you are actually producing more value than the rest, producing more than what is the norm, and as well as innovative solutions. Because these 2 things, if you do not have innovation in place, or innovation management in place, you could not be able to create your own new technology. By not being able to create new technology, you are not able to actually sustain the system that you have. Because the entirety of smart manufacturing depends on that one pillar of technology as well. So if your organization can't actually manage technology or create new technology, you might end up as an organization that is just, you can pay for technology, but you do not know what is technology. So in the end, what I'm trying to say is that you might be dependent on consultants to actually develop technologies for you, regardless of the company size. So that's one, and the other is of course Lean. We understand that Lean is of course a management system. Management systems are evolved over time. It needs to start with quality, and then it moves to Lean. Now these two are considered as the economic pillar of the sustainable development. After which, once you cater for these two pillars, then you can start to think about green as well as society which is sustainable. So usually companies and organizations in Malaysia, we are good with quality and Lean, but we only focus Lean in terms of manufacturing per se. So the same thinking can be applied throughout the organization so that we understand that Lean is basically removal of non-value-added items. Okay?
Thank you. Next question.
Good morning.
Okay, so
Having seen the first slide by speaker one on first robot for SME, what are the challenges in the rollout, and are there any plans to introduce in Malaysia for first robot for SME in Malaysia? Thank you.
Okay, so the first robot for SME program was a co-program with the French government, because we highlighted to the government that by just giving an incentive for capital would not be enough to spin off, because SMEs don't know how to handle such a project in the first place, at least for the first one. So we packaged something which is consultancy plus incentive, so that the SME can have a proper project approach and select the most convenient solution and the most, I would say, cost-effective solution to their real need, independently from any brand. That was the key. Because most of the company would straight away go to a brand and they would advise them on some high-end solution. Having said that, I don't know if Malaysia is going to launch such a program. We are of course pleased to help to tailor-make it or to support it. But the result was we did 80 in 2 years, very successful, and now we are 250 SMEs who have been successfully embarking on this program. And so the key is consultancy support for the spin-off. And we only do this program for the first robot, meaning to say after the companies invest on their own because they get comfortable with the technological solution. Sorry. 250 companies now which have used this program successfully. Well, we did a roadshow with, we reached out to more than 2,000 companies to explain the program, and out of the 2,000 we got response of I think around 500, but we had limited funds on the incentive, so we had to go by phases, and also limited resources for the consultancy support. So that was the big challenge, is to get experts to help on all these projects.
excellent progress. 250. Next one.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, speakers. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Leonard from Robotics. So, of course, I would like to say thank you, Mr. Gilles, for portraying robotics in your slides. Now, actually, basically, just to give a background, robotics now currently, a lot of SMEs, and especially MNCs in Malaysia, they are not ready to take the next step. So number one is because of also the education being brought towards the younger generations. So I would like to portray this question to all speakers. What are the next steps that you or the government is actually enforcing to educate the younger generation, and also most likely the management on the advantages of robotics into their industry? Thank you.
I think could be these two gentlemen, Dr. Zainul and Dr. Halim.
I cannot speak for Mohit. I cannot speak for them. But what I can say is that myself, MyRAS, MPDC, MyRAS, and our partners have been talking to MOI on developing educational training program for graduates. We've been talking to them for some time now, but whether it will, when, I think it's not whether it will materialize, but it's a question of when, right? So we are trying to follow up on that. But Halim's team have also come up with a program that will train the young ones. We will talk.
Okay, basically to answer that question, I'm trying to answer from 2 point of views. One from the university originator as well as my company. Okay, from UTM's perspective, what we are trying to do right now in terms of the university itself, we are actually merging faculties together. If I'm not mistaken, previously we have like 14, 15 faculties, now we have 8 faculties. Okay, so the idea behind this merger is that we can actually have multidisciplinary projects, research projects, so that we can assist future generations as well as our own research to chart future roadmaps for the country. For instance, my faculty, which used to be called Razak Faculty for Engineering and Advanced Technology, now we have merged together with the Advanced Informatics School. So now, officially we are called Razak Faculty of Technology and Informatics. What is taught under our faculty is everything under the sun. So we have people with theological background, we have lawyers, we have scientists, we have everything under the sun. But in short, as a university, UTM, as far as I know of, we are moving towards coming up with new programs, and we are aware of there is such a thing as Education 4.0, where you can have a radical customization of the degree, as well as Masters and PhD. So we are moving towards that, but we know as a public university, we have some guidelines that we have to follow. Now, in terms of what my company is currently doing with MTDC, is to actually come up with a training program for students, for unemployed graduates especially, to retrain them so that they have sufficient skills for I 4.0. So it's going to be like a 2 weeks, 3 weeks program with 6 months of internship, where we actually monitor them to come up with transformative strategies in that particular company. So our point of view is that by actually coming up with strategy, a person will have to know everything that is, related to I 4.0. So that is basically what we are trying to say to them. So in short, UTM as well as my company, in terms of producing future generation and equipping them for 4.0 as well as robotics savvy, we are moving in that in terms of coming up with new syllabus as well as new traits of students.
Yeah.
Okay, good morning everyone and all our respective speaker. My name is Vincent. I've been actually involving in this IoT or Industry 4.0 for the last 5 years, and now I'm actually working with one of the company that provide this Industry 4.0 solution for manufacturing. So I actually have a question to all the respective speaker and maybe all of you in the hall. I think that one of the key challenges that normally we will face or whatever that is the ROI. What will be the ROI or the use case that the customer should look into when they invested into the project? Because we have been going through a lot of presentation, a lot of demo. End of the day, when we come up with a proposal, then we start in somewhere that what will be the right ROI that customers should actually expected when they actually invested in a pilot or a POC, that kind of things.
Yeah, like I was showing in my presentation, there is no straight calculation possible for most of the applications, especially for SMEs. So you cannot go straight from a labor cost to ROI on your robots based on that. You have to think more global in terms of image. It's a bit the same when a company invests in CRM, for example. You cannot really calculate what is the return of investment on such a software on your company to money and cent. But you know that you need it in order to keep growing in terms of client management. So for the robots, it's a bit the same. Straightforward doesn't really hold for most of the processes. You have to look more on the long term and also look into what you can do with the robot in terms of flexibility to adapt to new projects beyond that. Because you might start with one single project which is not covering the whole spectrum of time which is available with the robot. But by having the robot, you then create new opportunities for additional business. That's my answer.
I just want to add, I think that is where all of us have the same dilemma. When we go to the investment committee, the first thing they ask is what is, if it is anything less than 15%, they say, go, get out from here, you know. So I think it's very difficult in this investment to identify IRR. So I think that maybe the first thing the investment committee and the board has to be educated first.
As you saw in my example on logistics, cost might not be the main factor to invest in robot. Lead time reduction, if it's what the client is expected and you have no other choice to keep that market and to reduce the lead time, you might have no other solution than to invest anyway beyond the cost itself.